Get the Friendo Club set up today and get access to over 700 Going In Raw bonus episodes, our monthly Big Blue predictions challenges, and the ability to ask questions at Going In Raw. We also offer the Steven Larson comic book and exclusive Friendo Club t-shirt. Just hit join here at youtube.com/Steven Larson or go to patreon.com/Steven Larson to sign up. Hey, friendo, Steve here.
Hey, Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to. It's Wednesday. That means it's time for the hottest of hot takes in the wrestling industry. The friendos are giving us the hot takes. We're going to take those hot takes and we're going to respond to those hot takes. Larson, what's up first?
This first one is from Josh Brown. Hot take. Rhea essentially bullying her way into the WrestleMania match doesn't make her very interesting as a babyface. She gets babyface reactions and is framed as a babyface, but continues to act like a bully heel. If she loses her match, some drastic character work is needed to show the consequences of her actions. Otherwise, it's a wasted opportunity.
We'll piggyback this next one so we can have a full conversation about this. Drew Diesel says, if the crowd is wrongly painting Bianca as the heel, lean into it, have her turn full heel and steal the win at WrestleMania. If Rhea is stone cold over, then let Bianca be her Rock. That's money. This was the first hot take, that one from Drew Diesel. That was the first hot take that I looked at and I was like, you know what? I still don't think that they're going to do it, but I love the framing of it as if Rhea is stone cold, then let Bianca be The Rock. Because if you recall, The Rock was a bad guy until the crowd really couldn't stand booing the guy. They had, because he's so entertaining. And you and I, especially as of late, because there's been a lot of conversation about Bianca potentially going heel. I mean, hell, on Raw this past Monday, she was wearing like a very gothy outfit, kind of mirroring Rhea in a way. And you and I have been talking a lot about how much fun Bianca was as a heel back in NXT.
Yeah. And
I've always felt from a business perspective, I don't know if that's a route they'd want to take, but that's also kind of a Vince philosophy.
Yeah.
So I would love to see that. I think that'd be really terrific. As far as the first thing, saying Rhea essentially bullying her way into WrestleMania match doesn't make her very interesting as a babyface. But, like, she's never been a babyface by action. She's just really fucking cool and does really fucking cool things, which gets her a babyface reaction.
Which is why I think the shift in her character is interesting, because I don't know exactly how to put this, because in some regards, it feels like a step back for her as a character. You know what I mean? Like, she's been booked a certain way, and I guess maybe the idea is, hey, Rhea, we don't want you to become too one-dimensional. We need dimension for your character, which I'm all for dimension. And maybe as the story plays out, it'll make more sense. It just seemed like a somewhat drastic and kind of an odd move to have her being this badass suddenly be whiny, you know, and to, you know, this to constantly try to get herself into this match, even though she lost to Io. It's nobody's fault but her own.
Do you think that that's how she's been portrayed, as whiny? Because I don't see it that way. I see it as her definitely trying to bully her way back into a match that she has no business being in. I mean, we say she has no business being in. If you're going to go strictly by the events that have transpired, yeah. If you're going to go by, does she make a good case based off of, given that the WWE is a business in the storyline, is it best for business? Does she have a great record as champion? Is she a dominant figure? Did Bianca distract her in that match? Everything does kind of line up in terms of, well, it makes sense for her to be in the match, except the direct events that led her to be out of the match.
Yeah.
What is Adam Pearce supposed to do from a business perspective? Keep her off of WrestleMania? That doesn't make a hell of a lot of sense.
But I would say this. Maybe whiny's not the right word. But, you go back to Charlotte.
Entitled, yes.
Yes,
whiny,
that's the word I'm looking for.
I don't know about that.
Entitled, yes. Whiny, perhaps that's not the right word, but entitled is a better word for it. In terms of compelling stories, though, Adam Pearce saying, "Oh, Rhea, you really have no claim to be in this match, but business-wise, it's good for us." Like, that's not the most captivating stuff creatively.
It's not. No, it's absolutely not. Wrestling as a story is all about fighting your way into a favorable position.
Yeah.
And Rhea didn't exactly do that here.
Nope.
They went more of so here's this is the dichotomy for me anyways. Recognizing completely that they took a really wonky, overbooked, unnecessary, and kind of illogical way to get there. In my opinion, it's been entertaining throughout. And at the end of the day, the entertainment value is kind of what matters most to me. Mm-hmm. So Pearce admitting that he messed up every single step along the way and then turning it on them and saying, "I thought you could be more professional than this," is so ridiculous. It's hilarious. It's entertaining. And it makes me, and it's like, okay, yeah, there is no way Rhea wasn't going to get into this match. So fine, that works. Even if it's not the most compelling thing, it's not the most intriguing thing. And at every point, I was left with, I can't wait to see more of these performers next week because they're so damn fun, as opposed to with the Seth situation, what the hell is going to happen next? We don't have that here with the what the hell is going to happen next. You and I have been able to easily predict every step of the way. Bianca's going to guess ref. She's going to wonk it. Yeah. That's what happened. That's what we predicted. It was obvious. Yeah. And so Pearce just letting up and being like, okay, Rhea, you're in the match. That'll figure it. That's going to get us to where we're headed anyways. It's a weird thing because is the writing good? No, the entertainers are amazing. And it just fit. It's fine to me, but it's also, it's not the most compelling thing in the world.
Well, I think it'd be a situation where it's getting by on the strength of the performances, so you can enjoy it in that regard. But in terms of the storytelling, it's not that satisfying. And that's kind of how it's always felt, since they started really heading in this direction. It's like, all right, I see where it's going, but does it feel like a satisfying arc leading up to WrestleMania? Like there's something missing.
Mm-hmm, yeah,
for me from this story, and I've had a hard time, obviously, trying to express it.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. There's a story missing. There's an arc missing. There's the 3-act structure is missing. Like there's action and consequence missing.
Yeah,
there's action and reaction. All the standard tropes.
Yeah,
are missing.
Like it should be Rhea loses the title to Io, blames it on Bianca. Like from wrestling storytelling, that should be her path then,
Mm-hmm, yeah.
All right, you're in a story with Bianca. Maybe it doesn't start right away post WrestleMania. Then you tell that story. But I get it. If they want to do a one-on-one thing with Rhea Bianca, they want to have that at WrestleMania. That makes all the sense. Could easily main event.
Yeah.
Which is why it seems, I get it, but at the same time, it's just an interesting move that they do what they're doing now to set up what happens potentially next year.
And I'll be honest, I don't think it's a terrible, because by the time we get to next year, I think you'll be able to look back on this history and be like, okay, all the groundwork was laid.
I hope so. I
honestly do think. I do think that by the end of the match at WrestleMania, I think we're going to be intrigued as to what happens on Raw next, because I think that there's no way they're going to get around, this push and pull between, and I know Io's the odd man looking in, Bianca, I think, is going to win this match. And, so I think somebody in either our chat or comments or somewhere was like, Bianca should kind of steal this match. She should pin Io after Rhea hits Io with a riptide, and Bianca sends Rhea out of the ring. I don't know. I'm not so bearish on them turning Bianca heel now.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a possibility, and I think Stone Cold and The Rock are a wonderful template. Bianca can 1,000% pull that shit off.
Mm-hmm.
She would be hilarious, and the crowd would she'd arguably end up being more popular than she is now.
Yeah, she would, because she's a great heel. She'll get over even more.
Because she'll get over even more.
Yeah. We got a hot take here from Thane Davis. Hot take. That Tiffany and Charlotte promos made their match at WrestleMania more exciting is making me think this match could be an all-timer in a fun/bad way, and I'm here for it.
So there's one thing you should never do in pro wrestling, and that's be boring.
Yeah.
So according to this hot take, there is the possibility this can go one of two ways. A banger Charlotte match. Tiffany can deliver in the ring.
She can.
And we know Charlotte can put on some fantastic matches. They're going to use this heat between them, real, fake, both, whatever, and use that to fuel a killer match. Or it's going to be Hogan Warrior Halloween Havoc 98, where you have two people who cannot get on the same page. Somebody's got to eat the pin. And boy, oh boy, that person's going to put up an actual fight to get to that point to make sure they're protected.
Mm-hmm.
Which in itself can be very entertaining. I don't think this match has any chance of being boring. But which way do you think it's going to go?
Well, I mean, I guess there's the possibility that it's somewhere down the middle where whoever is told, hey, you have to lose this match, just kind of goes through the motions. And just, all right, I got to do these. This is a sequence of events. I'll do it. I'll eat the pin. I'll roll out of the ring and walk away.
Austin Aries. This is going to be an Austin Aries situation.
Yes.
But Larson, if this is an Austin Aries situation, we're going to be cracking up at the end because Charlotte or Tiff is somebody just going to eat that, whatever they're eating, the prettiest moonsault. And then
rolling out of the ring and walking away.
Yeah. Here's the thing about this, because this take is absolutely right. We're all going to be wondering how this is going to go down. We're going to be like, what are they going to do? How is this going to happen?
The interest in this match has absolutely nothing to do with the story, such as it is that they're trying to tell.
What story?
I know, that's why I said there is no story. There is no story.
The story has become, these people really don't get along.
Yeah. Really don't get along. Not
actually
characters. They really don't get along.
These are two actors who have no desire to be in the same movie with each other.
Yep.
That's what this has become.
And the lack of chemistry shows.
Yeah. Let me ask you this for the sake of conversation.
Sure.
Somebody else in our comments thread, and I apologize for not having it sourced right here, right now. But while Larson gives his answer, maybe I will.
Sure.
I'll look it up.
Sure.
Somebody basically said Tiffany Stratton. Oh, here we go. Perfect. Jordan Martinez says Tiffany's line during the Charlotte promo was totally okay. Seth Rollins mentioning Matt Riddle's family issues during their promo, that was praised. Shoot or non-shoot, it's the same thing. I disagree with that last part. Shoot or non-shoot, I don't think it's the same thing. I think
no, it's not the same thing. No.
Yeah.
No.
Matt Riddle was aware that Seth Rollins was going to say that.
Mm-hmm.
If the reporting is to be believed here, Charlotte was not aware that Tiffany was going to use that line. If she was aware that line was going to be said and she cleared it and it was okay and she was comfortable with it, absolutely it's okay.
Exactly.
But the mental health issues that these wrestlers probably have to deal with, especially somebody like Charlotte. I can't tell you how disappointed I was in how many different, both here and at WrestleJuice, how many people will talk about like Charlotte and the decisions she has made with her own body to get various, plastic surgery or whatever. And it's like, why bring that up? There's no reason to bring that stuff up in an industry dominated by, looks are everything, and what these people as human beings have to go through. Stick to civil conversations and good faith criticism about what you see on the television in terms of the promos, the in-ring, et cetera, et cetera.
Stories being fair told, game. The performances of the competitors, yes.
Right. And so, what they have to go through in terms of the mental health aspect of things, if somebody busts out a line that is attacking a personal situation that is still very raw.
I mean, especially wasn't it just earlier that day or the day before that Charlotte was on the talk show and talking about it? Yeah.
It takes me out of the performance. It takes me out of the situation. Like I said, and if I'm wrong about the situation, if the reporting is wrong about the situation and Charlotte was like, yeah, go ahead and have at it, then that's fine. I think that's fine.
Yeah.
That's okay.
1,000%.
But if somebody, it's like taking liberties with somebody's emotional state, and I'm not down with that. And by the way, if Charlotte did the same thing to Tiffany Stratton, then that's wrong as well.
It is. Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, there is a huge difference between whether a comment like that was agreed upon in advance or not. And as you said, in the real situation, apparently was agreed to. All right, everybody's on board with it. Proceed. But that's the key. Everybody has to be on board with it.
Yeah.
And the history of wrestling, we can probably think dozens of times where someone said something that wasn't agreed upon in advance and it caused issues. It happens all the time in the world of pro wrestling.
Yeah.
I mean, that was one of Punk's, huge issues with Hangman. Was that they laid something out, Hangman didn't stick to it, and Punk had an issue with it.
Well, I mean, the thing is, you can go back in the history of wrestling and see it happen. It doesn't happen that often on television. It doesn't happen that often. That's what stood out about it. But you can go back in time and look at various situations, but to see something break down so dramatically, it is a rare occasion that happens. But no, go ahead.
I would say probably the last time it happened to that extent was Punk.
Was Punk Hangman. Yeah, absolutely.
Hangman,
absolutely. Especially when it's two people in the ring. And when it does, it's just you get that vibe of uncomfortability.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, that was a weird line. I wonder what the situation there is. And then sure enough, you find out that it's weird. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyways, we got a couple sponsors for the show today, Larson. So let's go ahead and talk about them.
Let's do it. This episode of Going in Raw is sponsored by BetterHelp. I've talked about my own experience with therapy here on the show quite a bit. And while therapy helped me learn the tools I needed to better cope with the severe anxiety I was dealing with in my mid-20s, I also learned firsthand that in-person therapy can be very expensive, with session fees adding up really fast. But with BetterHelp, therapy can feel more accessible and not like a luxury.
BetterHelp offers quality care at a price that makes sense. With BetterHelp, you pay a flat weekly fee for sessions, saving you big on cost and time. Your mental health is worth it, and now it's within reach.
Plus, BetterHelp is completely online, making therapy far more convenient. Back when I was going to therapy about 20 years ago, I had to get in my car and drive and deal with LA traffic to get to my appointments. But with BetterHelp, you can join a session with the click of a button so you can fit therapy into your busy schedule. And you can switch therapists at any time.
Your well-being is worth it. Visit betterhelp.com/raw today to get 10% off your first month.
That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/raw. And let's get a word from our sponsor, Tempo. Steve.
Yes.
Wasn't technology supposed to make our lives easier?
Yeah, that's what we were told, man.
Yeah, that was the promise, right?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Instead, it just feels like more stuff gets packed into our days thanks to technology. So now it seems like we actually have less time to do things, including thinking about the food that we're putting into our bodies.
Yeah, man. And far too often, I'd find that when my schedule is packed, All I had time for was some greasy fast food. That all changed when I found Tempo. Tempo is a weekly delivery service that allows you to select from over 20 mindful meal choices that are crafted to cook in just 3 minutes, and they're delivered fresh right to your door.
Tempo's dietitian-approved menu takes the guesswork out of eating well, and they've got new recipes each week, like Tuscan turkey meatballs and chimichurri chicken that are made with real, nutrient-rich ingredients which make it easy to keep up with your healthy lifestyle, and they offer a variety of meals tailored to your dietary preferences.
And for a limited time, Tempo is offering Going in Raw listeners 60% off your first box. Go to tempomeals.com/raw. That's tempomeals.com/raw for 60% off your first box. Tempomeals.com/raw. Rules and restrictions may apply.
And let's get a word from our sponsor, NordVPN. So we found ourselves in this situation where we wanted to cover W's recent European tour. This happened a week or two ago. We wanted to cover that tour right as the shows were happening and after they were happening. But with only Raw airing live here in the States, we had to find a way for us to watch SmackDown as it happened.
That's right, man. And with NordVPN, we were able to switch our virtual location so that we could watch SmackDown live and get our recaps done right after the show. And we could watch it with no buffering or lagging because NordVPN is the fastest VPN in the world.
And NordVPN also keeps your private online data safe and offers premium cybersecurity for the price of a cup of coffee a month. Their threat protection feature keeps you safe from viruses, malware, and phishing sites. And if you're traveling and have to use public Wi-Fi, NordVPN is there to protect you wherever you are in the world.
To get the best discount off your NordVPN plan, go to nordvpn.com/raw. Our link will also give you 4 extra months on the 2-year plan. There's no risk with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. Link is in the podcast episode description box. All right, let's head into our next hot take here. This one comes to you from Ryan O'Nori, and Ryan here says, whether there's a big angle or not, Seth has to win the triple threat, and if he doesn't, he cannot eat the pin. Larson, power rank, who needs to win the triple threat match in the main event of night 1 of WrestleMania?
Who needs?
Who needs to win it?
I mean, Seth does need a major win at WrestleMania. He does.
The heist of the century is not big enough?
Well, like, since he beat Triple H at Mania 33, how many of his Mania... 33. How many of his Mania matches has he won? He lost both his matches last year.
35.
Okay. So he lost both his matches last year, lost to Drew, and was on the losing team in the tag match.
Who did he fight at the pandemic one? Was it Owens?
It was KO, yeah.
Did he win that one?
I remember if he won or lost.
Probably won that one.
39, he rests. Gosh, my memory's terrible.
39, wasn't it Logan Paul? He won that one.
He won that one.
Yeah. So, I mean, look, I feel what you're saying.
I would say lately, it's been a lot of sorry, Seth, you know?
So last year, isn't this the biggest? It's sort of in line with what you're saying. Last year, he sacrificed himself so that Roman would lose the title.
Exactly. Now he needs to get that win after being the losing end of the tag match, sacrificing himself, and losing the title.
Isn't this like a 2-man race, though? It's Seth and Punk.
Yeah.
Roman doesn't need to win shit anymore for the rest of time.
Pretty much, yeah.
Has he? Because, like, okay, so there was the heist. He lost that. He has lost plenty during the Brock days.
He lost
at
Brock.
34.
Lost at 34, yeah. But he also beat Undertaker.
He won at 32. He beat Undertaker at 33. What did Roman do at 35?
34, 35.
What did he do at 35? Which one was 35?
That was Becky, Charlotte.
He stacked 2 guys at 30, whatever, 6 or whatever it was, 37.
Mm-hmm. 37, yeah.
Beat Cody at 39.
Yeah. Beat Brock at 38.
Yeah, he's won.
To unify the titles.
He doesn't.
He's main event of WrestleMania 11 times now after this match.
Does he eat the pin in this match?
We'll say Seth wins. I don't know. I think if Seth wins, I think it's entirely conceivable that he pins Punk because Punk's got a pin on him.
True. Yeah. The Netflix
And then
premiere.
Seth won the cage match because Roman pulled him out.
Yeah, such a wonk. That was such a wonk.
So you could have, Punk eat a stomp, a spear, another stomp, and get pinned that way. Seth pins him.
I think man, I think at WrestleMania, I think we see Seth needs to go heel and Bianca needs to go heel decisively.
All right.
That's what I think needs to happen. That's what needs to happen. But it's the main event. Like Punk's probably gonna win this thing. Okay, let me ask them. I give you $100 to bet on this match.
I bet $33 on Punk. I bet $33 on Roman. I bet $33 on Seth.
Brother, if you're not betting 50 and 50 on Punk and Seth, then you're a big dummy.
Fine. 50-50. Hedging my bets.
I mean, can I put all 100 on Roman getting pinned? Can I do that?
Sure, if that's a prop bet.
Okay. Roman's going to be gone after Mania.
Probably, yeah.
Punk and Rollins, they're going to stick around. Does that inform where you're going to put my money?
Where I'm going to put your money?
If
it's your money, I'm just putting it in my pocket.
I'm giving you the money, but only to bet on this.
What if I bet $1 and keep the 99?
Okay, man. Can you just accept this conversation for what it is? You're betting money that you don't have to worry about getting, losing out on. So it's free money. It's house money.
All right. This is how I disperse the $100.
Okay.
I would put. Depends on the odds too.
Okay.
I would put some. I imagine Seth's going to be the underdog. I would guess Phil's probably going to be the favorite.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I would probably, if $100, I'd probably put like 30 on Seth.
Mm-hmm.
Because if he loses, $30, but if he wins, I'll probably get more of a payout. Even if I put more, put like 40 on Punk.
Okay. All right.
And then what I got left there, $30.
30. Yeah.
And then I divide that amongst whatever prop bets there are.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh man. Yeah. I feel like Seth and Punk, I'll put it this way. Seth and Punk are going to be there after WrestleMania.
Yeah. And the focus is going to be on them going forward, yeah.
That means one of them is going to win and one of them is going to eat the pin because the guy who's not going to be there, it doesn't matter. Like, he's not going to be there, so he's not going to have a victory to celebrate nor a gripe to have over eating the pin.
Yeah.
That Raw Netflix deal was a big deal. And you're right. Roman sort of ruined that Seth win at the whatever that one was.
The cage match, yeah.
The cage match. I feel like Roman eats the pin. No, I'm sorry. I think Punk eats the pin. I think Seth wins.
Yeah.
This Heyman stuff.
There's something there.
There's something there. There's something there, dude.
Something. I don't know exactly what it is, but there's something there.
I don't know what it is.
Landon Smith here with a hot take. I feel like I'm about to lose my voice. Jay versus Gunther is the best turnaround of a feud I have ever seen. Yeet.
Yeet. Ever. Boy, a lot of you have some evers in here. Ever's a lot. It's a lot. I mean, is this better than Becky, Charlotte, Ronda being a mess?
I was going to bring that up too. And then
they did
awesome
the great
brawl.
thing with the cops.
Yeah.
That was great. But that wasn't really a feud turnaround. This is kind of a feud turnaround. There's one more episode of Raw where they'll probably do a pull apart.
I feel like Gunther needs to get the upper hand on this last one.
Oh, I agree. I know. I think Gunther needs to stop smiling and be vicious Gunther now.
Yeah.
He's got to bring that same energy to say, "Oh, you're going to pray for me. You need to be praying for yourself."
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a terrific turnaround.
Later. Yeah, it has been. The span of 2 weeks, they've kind of dug themselves out of the hole they put themselves in by not doing a whole lot for 4 or 5 weeks prior. And,
Academy.
If they had followed through on the idea that Gunther was going to just deliver 10 weeks of hell, none of these feuds where they're kind of like distracted with Gunther feuding with Alpha Academy or Jay feuding with A-Town Down Under. Didn't amount to anything.
Very, very tepid 10 weeks. It's been a week of hell. Yeah, I mean, ever's a lot. I'd have to go back and really look at stuff. But this has been a very dramatic turnaround. In terms of where it was versus where it is, yeah, this has been a very dramatic turnaround.
It has been. I'm just trying to think in recent history if there's anything that comes to mind where it looked
I have
like
such a crappy memory. So,
me
like,
too.
trying
I'm
to
sick
remember
as
that
is.
stuff.
So.
Yeah. So let's move on to this next one here from Flair versus Rain. Gunther versus Goldberg would have been better than Gunther versus Jay. Remember when they sort of teased it? I kind of feel like after Mania, to make up for Gunther losing at Mania, they're going to give him Goldberg's retirement match where she's going to win. You think Goldberg would be cool losing his retirement match?
I don't know.
As long as it's somebody he's okay with, I think. He probably has approval on that.
I mean, personally, no. I'd much rather see Gunther versus Jay. I think that's been they've made it to be a really intriguing story at this juncture. They've had two really good weeks in terms of developing that story. And what would the story be between Gunther and Goldberg? Like Gunther would be like, "Hey, old man."
It'd be your time is not 30 years ago. Your time is 30 years. Your time is not now.
Yeah.
Your time is up.
Yeah.
And here's the problem with it. Jay admitting that he's scared of Gunther is everything.
Mm-hmm.
Has Goldberg ever admitted? Has Goldberg ever sold for anybody ever? No. And I'm not talking about selling moves. I'm saying in a feud, has Goldberg ever
betrayed any sense of fear whatsoever? Absolutely not.
Has he ever acted like he was vulnerable? No. He's always prided himself on being a one-note, boring character.
He wants to be seen as a superhero.
Right. And even superheroes have vulnerabilities.
Yeah.
Even Superman has kryptonite. He wants to be Superman, but without kryptonite. Boring.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, no. I mean, look, I understand from like maybe a marquee, oh, wow, Goldberg, big deal. That's sort of where it stops, though. Like,
Exactly.
I understand that box office. Like, we haven't seen that just now at Saturday night's main event.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, it'd just be Goldberg no selling everything Gunther has. I mean, upside would be Gunther would win.
I would hope so.
Oh, bro, they're not putting that. They would not be putting that title on Goldberg.
We didn't think he'd beat the Fiend either.
It would have been his retirement match if they did that.
True World Order hot take.
Hot take.
Says the reason Darby beating Mox seems underwhelming is because the title itself seems underwhelming. The three women's titles, World, TBS, Ring of Honor, all feel special, while the men's titles don't.
So this is a hot take for me because I don't know where you get the idea that Darby beating Mox would be overwhelming.
Underwhelming.
Would be underwhelming. He presupposes that. He says the reason why it would be underwhelming. The level, I'm sorry, man. People who are going to be ponying up good money to be a part of the however many of thousands of people at All In, if that's where it's going to go down.
Yeah.
Wherever it's going to happen. If he needs a couple months to recover and it's going to happen at Full Gear or All Out even, I don't know.
No. Hold on, Steve.
What?
Mox needs to lose it All In.
Okay, well, let me ask you this, though, because this is what didn't make any sense to me.
Sure.
Don't they need to get this wild card thing like settled soon? He can't be the wild card. That one's already started.
It has.
Hangman has the wild card in whatever, I think.
Yeah, they just have. I mean, like if they can push that match till like early May, then it's possible. Because I see people say
like months.
So I've seen in comments people saying, "Oh, Darby's gonna be gone 2 months, starting on the 15th." My understanding is, and if the idea that he's actually starting the climb on the 15th, which the climb up Everest itself takes 2 weeks. The 2 months is to prepare yourself for the elevation.
Okay.
I did a little research on it.
He's already preparing himself.
That's what I'm assuming. If the idea is that they're going to start the climb on the 15th, he started his prep for that 2 months ago.
Okay, but did you do any research on recovery time when you're back?
But it's Darby. I assume he'll be on the first plane back to where they're having Dynamite.
If that's physically possible, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. I will just say this. Regardless,
Also, hold on, let me say this. They have till the end of May, because that's when the finals are at Double or Nothing. And they have 2 more first-round matches in the men's tournament and 3 more first-round matches in the women's tournament.
Okay.
And then after that, it's the semis, and that's so. In the men's side of things, they only have 3 more matches to do.
All right.
In the span of what, a month and a half? There's plenty of time.
Regardless of what it is.
Yeah.
Darby's the guy.
Yeah.
Darby's going to cut a promo. Like, I can't believe that anybody would undersell this or underestimate how huge this is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Darby is going to Mount Everest. Like, that's God at this point climbing Everest. And I know I've seen videos of a bunch of rich people getting to a certain point and it's trash everywhere and there's like dead bodies. I get that. But there's dead bodies. That tells you something. It's dangerous shit.
It's dangerous, yeah.
It's still a big deal. Conquering Everest is something that man has been doing now for 100 years, whatever it's been.
Something like that, yeah.
And it's still a big deal. Darby cutting a promo at the location of Mount Everest on Jon Moxley.
Whether it's at the summit, somewhere else.
Base camp.
Yeah.
Him cutting that promo is everything. And him coming back as the guy who beat Everest, that's big deal. That crowd is going to eat that shit up. And anybody who thinks otherwise is not an honest player in this game. So no, Darby beating Mox is not going to be underwhelming unless he doesn't conquer Everest. Unless he bitches out and he's like, it was too hard.
Yeah.
Then it's going to be, if he successfully does Everest and comes back, get the fuck out of here. The roof is going to explode. If there's a roof, I don't know if there's a roof on the place. The proverbial
I think it's got a
roof.
retractable roof.
If they de-retract it, if it's on, it'll explode.
Yeah.
It'll explode.
If nothing else, people are going to be relieved that Mox lost.
And there's that.
And they'll be happy that someone finally beat him.
And there's that. There is that. And that's a big deal too. Don't get me wrong.
It is.
Death Riders being done with is a big deal.
It's a massive deal. I look forward to the day where Mox doesn't have this title anymore. But don't get me started on that again.
We'll look back fondly. We'll be like, you know what? I miss the Death Riders.
No, those words will never come out of my mouth.
All right.
Ever.
Next hot take. From
Omar Diaz here says SmackDown 2016 post-draft was by far the best era of SmackDown or any WWE program in the 2010s. Dean versus AJ, Randy versus Wyatt family, Heath Slater and Rhino in the tag division, and lastly, Miz versus Dolph. All were just magical times. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff 2016 SmackDown.
2016 SmackDown, it was as if, and also like on Raw, post-draft Raw, when Finn Balor came up, it was as if Vince had like seeded WWE over to Triple H or something. Because like you see like NXT shit happening, you know, Dean was prominent, AJ was prominent. Yeah, no, I don't think this is a hot take at all. I think you look at look, here's the thing. At first I was like, all of SmackDown, but then he said the 2010s. So like 2017 to 2019 was unwatchable.
Yeah.
2010 until 2015, 2014
There was a
maybe.
stretch where SmackDown was basically a clip show.
Yeah. So that's not too, this guy, Omar here thought he had a hot take, but then you actually break it down and it's kind of a cold take. A little bit of a cold take. But, SmackDown 2016, yeah, that was some good shit, man. We went to one of the pay-per-views then.
We went to No Mercy here. That's where they had the Dolph Miz. And if Dolph lost, he had to retire. John O'Davies with a hot take.
Hot take.
Says AEW giving their wrestlers more creative freedom has been a net positive. For every learning tree or Death Riders, there's a timeless Tony Storm or Hangman versus Swerve. The good far outweighs the bad. I agree with this because I think for the most part obviously the Death Riders and some of the stuff Jericho has done they haven't pivoted from. But there's been a lot of stuff where it seems like, all right, we'll give this a try. Ain't working. All right. We're not going to follow through on it because it just ain't working. But, to think that if she wasn't given the opportunity, we may never have seen timeless Tony Storm. I know. Or Swerve. With this character, Ricochet with what he's doing now.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think when there's talent in AEW who really knows how to channel their creativity and be able to communicate that to Tony Khan and gain his trust in terms of handling their creative, and they continually hit home run after home run, it's great to see.
Here's my kind of hot take counter to that. I don't think it's that too dissimilar from what WWE does in terms
This is
of
probably just less structured.
But I wonder by how much.
I saw a thing the other day that says a lot of promos in WWE are still scripted.
Yeah, that's not shocking to me. Especially you watch Tiffany Stratton do a promo. She stops, does a line, stops, does a line. A lot of people do that.
Yeah.
You got writers, which when AEW's got writers.
Yeah.
You got the guy at the top. You got some creative who have more pull than others, who are trusted more than others. I don't know, because you and I aren't there. I think it'd be a really fascinating look in terms of what A looks like and what B looks like, and WWE and AEW.
Well, maybe the hot take should be less AEW specific in that when you give wrestlers more creative freedom, it's a net positive.
Yeah, I think that's probably there's probably proof to that pudding.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think that.
Yeah.
Tia Kater with a hot take says Punk's latest run with AEW and WWE have moved him from great to all-time legend. Are you deciding whether or not you feel he was already an all-time legend? I kind of am. I think people
I'm
look
trying
back
to
on him
decide
as
how much his work outside of his feud with MJF would play into considering, because that's, I think we would agree, far and away the best story he was involved with in AEW.
Yeah,
was the
absolutely,
MJF feud.
absolutely.
Not to say he didn't have other good matches, but
I think that there was more good, like Punk's first stretch when he was like, "Oh, can I even do this anymore?"
there was some good stuff there. Yeah.
I thought there was a lot of good stuff there. He had the MJF thing, and then when he started butting heads with people, it's sort of just. But even his last match there with Samoa Joe was a really good match.
What's it's all about? Yeah.
I think there was more good than bad in AEW with Punk.
I just feel like it needs, at least for me personally, need more time. Not him wrestling further, but maybe towards the end of his career, look back at all of it within context of his career. And like, honestly, I was not watching really at all from like 2004 to 2011.
Yeah.
So I missed the Straight Edge Society. I missed a lot of his stuff. So I'm just not informed enough about CM Punk's early time at WWE to make any sort of assessment. I know the reputation, and I know
you've been
people speak
exposed
highly.
to enough. Let's do a quick game here, Larson. Let's do a quick game. All right.
Sure.
I love quizzing you while you got the fog.
Oh, I felt really good when we did the Raw recap. I am sluggish now.
Who has a bet? We're gonna play. Who has a better claim to being an all-time legend, or
This
who's
is a really
had
long name for a game show.
just who had a better career? Who had a better career? Okay.
All right.
CM Punk or RVD?
Well, CM Punk.
Yeah, easily. Okay. CM Punk or Chris Jericho?
I mean, it might be Chris Jericho.
But your hesitation means it's almost a wash, right?
Well, it's close.
Could be a wash. Could go either way.
Yeah.
Is Chris Jericho an all-time legend?
For me, no.
Oh, come on. Come on. Be honest, Larson.
I am.
Chris Jericho is 1,000% an all-time legend. Come on now. Come on.
In my estimation, not really.
CM Punk or Randy Savage?
Whose career would I rather have, or who had a better career?
Who had a better career?
I'm going to give the edge to Savage because he was top of the card during the time when WB, blew up as a national wrestling promotion, became mainstream. So I'll give Savage the edge there.
But it's not too far. It's not like a
I mean, if you're
huge-
looking on paper at accolades, no, it's not too much of a difference.
And Savage, you and I can agree, is an all-time great.
Yeah.
Come on, Punk's an all-time great.
He's on the verge.
Here's my hot take.
Sure.
Punk was an all-time great before he went to AEW. And
Wow.
He's only added to that since
Wow.
then. He's making his case, Larson,
Oh, GOAT status?
for Mount Rushmore.
Oh, wow.
Top four? I think he's making his case for top four, man. Absolutely, yeah.
We'll see about
it's
that.
him and 3 Finn Balor's. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Odd breakfast with a hot take. Sorry, Steve.
Oh, no. We do not start anything around here with sorry, Steve.
I didn't finish. Sorry, Steve, but Dom should pin Finn to win the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania. I agree with this.
Yeah.
That's the best story coming out.
Oh boy. Oh man. Oh boy. See, like earlier we filmed this yesterday on the Raw recap, I said that I'd go ballistic to the degree that you'd hate me if Finn Balor wins the Intercontinental Championship. If Dom wins, I'd pop huge. But the problem is if Dom wins by pinning Finn, what would my reaction be?
It would be bittersweet.
Boy, that'd be a difficult.
Because you like Dom, but it's at the expense of your dude.
Hey, sorry, Steve.
Sorry, Steve.
Should he? I don't know. Probably. You're probably right. Probably the best story. I'd be heartbroken though. I'd be heartbroken.
But you'd be happy you like Dom too.
I love Dom. I think he's great. But yeah,
I know Finn's your dude.
Finn's my guy. Walavois says, L.A. Knight,
Yeah.
has gotten stale. Nah. He hasn't really had to evolve as a character, and if he doesn't, his ceiling is firmly upper middle card. Listen,
Here's my counter. He's evolved enough. I like Teflon LA Knight.
L.A. Knight evolved before WWE. This is his final form.
Yes.
All right? This guy doesn't need to evolve. He should be fighting Gunther for the world title. L.A. Knight should be a double champion. His ceiling is firmly upper middle card. Yeah, I don't know, probably. But a lot of people, hey, I got bad news for you, Gunther. Your ceiling is upper middle card too.
Like firmly upper middle card is like a bad spot to be in. That's dabbling in the main event from time to time. It might never be world champion, but I mean, LA Knight got a title shot against Roman.
If L.A. Knight and Jey Uso found themselves on opposite brands, and L.A. Knight would be challenging Gunther for the world title.
Entirely possible.
That shit would be happening.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Has he gotten stale? No. Listen to the crowd. They love this guy. Love him.
It just takes LA Knight being in a good story, a good feud.
Honestly, with him, it's less story and more feud. Somebody that has aura that he could just dismantle.
And it's like LA Knight should be like the babyface version of like Karrion Kross, where a heel feud with LA Knight, and that heel is like different afterwards because they've thrown everything they can at this dude at LA Knight. Nothing's working, and now afterwards they're questioning how they approach everything in their career.
Like, are they going to have time? Like, is him and like Jacobs got him at WrestleMania, but they have 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I feel like Jacob's going to be dealing with Solo more than he is LA Knight. So this isn't like a proper feud between these two guys. And after Mania, I feel like Jacob, because he's going to lose because of Solo, is going to be dealing with Solo again. So we're not going to get, this is probably smart for Jacob Fatu, I don't think we're going to get a lot of opportunity for LA Knight to no-sell Jacob Fatu, who is a top 3 promo guy in the company.
Fantastic, yeah. He's so good.
So yeah, because otherwise it could be really, really interesting to see what happens when these two guys are together. All right, we've got a hot take. We got 2 more. This first one is, I think, we can introduce, of course, we're going to end on a grunge hot take, a music hot take, I should say.
Yeah.
But I think the second to last hot take, we want some, what are they called? Customer surveys.
Yeah.
We want some HR complaints, not HR complaints. That's weird. That's like,
But we want feedback.
I saw Larson giving Steve like a shoulder massage at the Xerox machine. You know, keep that stuff out of the office. That's an HR complaint.
That is.
This is customer feedback.
Yes.
AJ Otani says the miscellaneous news segments are harming the NXT review and Dynamite to a lesser extent. Waiting 2 days for a 15-minute review at the end of episodes hurts my heart. Allow me to go heel for a moment here on
Sure,
AJ
by all
Otani.
means.
Because AJ, this dude drops like 5 hot takes on every fucking
Yes.
hot take thread, 5 questions in every question thread. This guy probably has the record for most engagement. So big ups to AJ.
Yes.
So this is all very tongue-in-cheek. I'm going to go heel for a second.
All right.
Y'all should feel lucky that I haven't found a way yet to ditch the NXT and AEW review in total. We're a review show, so we review them. But if our retro reviews did better, then you better believe that AEW and NXT reviews would be gone from our programming, because I'll be honest with you, NXT is a fun show. It's fine. I don't think I would ever consider it compelling.
Yeah.
I enjoy what's going on now in the men's main event scene. I think those characters are really good. I'm kind of curious to see how this Dark State stuff's going to play out. Everything else is just, it kind of reminds me of back when we used to review TNA. This is fine. This is fun.
Relatively enjoyable, but like most of the stories are kind of short term. Mm-hmm. So, like, I don't know how we could have 15, 20, 30-minute conversations like we do at times about topics on Raw, SmackDown, for like one storyline on NXT.
They're just not all that beefy. And AEW is its own whole ass promotion, where number one, the talking points are amongst, like, you know, the internet wrestling community, if you will. People love to talk about AEW.
Yep.
And so we will have an extended conversation about a single angle. It's just a beefier conversation to have.
Yeah.
So that's why oftentimes our AEW reviews, and it's no shade to NXT.
No, NXT is an enjoyable show that most weeks I enjoy watching it.
It's fine. It's just there's so much more to talk about. There's more conversation surrounding AEW. There always has been. So that's why NXT ends up with the. You should feel lucky that we brought the thing back. Honestly, just people complained too damn much that we weren't doing it. And I was like, okay, fine. We'll just go ahead and do it. So we did it. But I'm telling you, if our WrestleMania 3 retro review did double the numbers, I'd be making that case to you. I'll be like, hey, Larson. And you'd be like, why are you twitching right now?
Yeah, I just do it back like I'm making fun of you, but you don't know it. You just think I'm like intensely thinking.
Yeah, I would think that you know what I'm talking about, even though I haven't said anything.
All right, last hot take here from Ozzy. Music take, 1991 is the greatest year for album releases in all the 90s. So, Steve, I have a sampling here, some of the albums released in 1991. Are you ready?
So do I. And it's fucking insane what came out that year.
Loaded. Nevermind. Nirvana's Nevermind.
Yeah.
I'm not much a Red Hot Chili Peppers fan, but I understand that Blood Sugar Sex Magic was a huge album.
Bro, that album, hey, you know what, man? I'm not a big fan either, but it's because that they had so many fucking hits that were so overplayed.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to tell you that shit wasn't bomb, because that shit
huge.
is really good.
Soundgarden's Bad Motorfinger.
Oh, my God.
My Bloody Valentine, Loveless, great record.
Yeah.
Pearl Jam's 10. Octung Baby from U2, Metallica self-titled.
REM's out of time.
Yeah.
Holy
Tribe Called
shit.
Quest, Low End Theory. Great record.
Use Your Illusion 1.
And 2.
Temple of the Dog came out in 91.
Prince's Diamond and Pearls.
Boys to Men, School AI Harmony.
Slint Spiderland was a great record. It's a really good record.
DJ Quick's debut came out. Quick is the name.
Ice Cube had a record that year too. Death Certificate.
Oh, did Ice Cube's first solo album come out that year?
Yeah, that might be his first solo album.
Hole's debut album came out that year.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Caius's first album came out that year. The beginning of Desert Rock.
Yeah.
Came out that year.
Are you into Caius's stuff at all?
Man, I'm not really. I don't really know much about it. I think I've given it a try here and there, and I think I've liked it well enough, but not enough to dive into it.
Gotcha.
And of course, a classic. My dad, one of his favorite albums, Van Morrison's "Hymns to the Silence," came out in '91. Tupacalypse Now came out in '91.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. No, '91. '91 was a killer. It was, but okay. If the idea is, was it the best of the '90s? Let me preface. Let me suggest this.
Sure.
The best year of the '90s in terms of albums release was probably either 1991 or '92, right?
I'm looking at 90. I'm looking at '94.
Okay, what happened in '94?
You have Super Unknown.
Yeah.
Beastie Boys, Ill Communication, Nine Inch Nails, Downward Spiral, Dookie by Green Day, Oasis, Definitely Maybe, Unplugged in New York from Nirvana.
Wow.
Holes Live Through This, Portishead's Dummy.
Wow. What did Alice in Chains do in '94?
I haven't got there yet. Nas' Illmatic,
Wow.
REM's Monster, Mellow Gold from Beck.
Ooh.
Pavement's Crooked Rain, Weezer's first album. What else do we got here? Oh, Jar of Flies from Alice in Chains.
Okay. Yeah.
Outkast had a record.
That's got to be it, though, in terms of like, it had to have been from 90 to 94.
Steve, Teenager of the Year came out in 1994.
His first one came out in '93. Check this out for '92.
Sure.
Automatic for the People from REM.
Great record.
Check Your Head from Beastie Boys. The Chronic came out in '92. Let's see here. Alice in Chains' Dirt came out that year. I mean, doesn't really make the case, but Stone Temple Pilots Core came out that year. There were some good songs.
Yeah, there's some good stuff on that.
Another Caius album came out that year. There's others. On the TLC Tip came out that year. That was a fucking good. The Singles soundtrack came out that year. I feel like so far '92 is not as good as '91 or '94.
So I got '93. We got In Utero, Bjork's first album, Siamese Dream.
Siamese Dream came out then.
Enter the Wu-Tang, Breeder's Last Splash.
Ooh.
Midnight Marauders from A Tribe Called Quest. Doggy Style from Snoop Dogg.
Okay, yeah. So far, I'm feeling 91 and 94. Those are the ones that I'm feeling. What happened in 93?
That's what I just read from. It's 93.
Oh, that was 93?
About 95. 95, we have The Bends.
Nothing. Oh, yeah, okay. Well,
Liquid Swords from Jizza. That's a great record.
Okay.
Pavement's Wowie Zowie, Elastica, their album.
I feel like 95 we're already into shit territory.
Tragic Kingdom from No Doubt.
Yeah, I like that. That's fine.
It's a huge record. Foo Fighters' first album. Only Built for Cuban Links. It's a good record right there.
Yeah, dude. I don't know, man. I kind of feel like 94 might have 91 or 94 might have it. 94 might take the cake, dude.
Yeah, 91 and 94 are both really loaded.
91 and 94. Those might be the years.
Awesome albums.
Those might be the years.
What about 1998? What happened in 1998?
Man, shit didn't come out in 98.
Outcast Sequemini, great record.
Yeah, that's good.
Mezzanine from Massive Attack, that's a good one.
Oh, that's a great album.
Lauryn Hill's
Celebrity
solo album
Skin
came out
was
that year. That's a
good.
good one.
Yeah, dude, I'm not impressed. I'll be honest, not impressed by 98.
Well, Yield came out in 98, Steve.
Let me reiterate, not impressed. Hey, I am wearing, though, if you guys love these grunge conversations, music conversations, I'm wearing the Friendo Club I forget what I call it. Friendo Garden, I think I called it on the thing. Friendo Club Sound Garden homage t-shirt right here. FriendoShop.com. Use promo code Friendo2024, I think it is. Cat Power's Moonpix came out in 98. I like Cat
That's a good
Power.
record.
Yeah, that is a good record. Yeah.
97 saw OK Computer, Spiritualized, Ladies and Gentlemen, We Were Floating in Outer Space.
That was a good album. That was a really good album.
Yeah, Wu-Tang Forever. Foo Fighters had an album. Bjork had an album.
Yeah.
Oh, Godspeed You Black Emperor's debut was 97.
91 and 94. Those are the years, man. Those are the years.
Those are near the top.
Anyways, that's going to do it for the show today. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Till next time, we'll see you guys around.
Goodbye.